slow ball spark. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Count with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
Good Lipscomb Wednesday out there, Western Oklahoma. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Glad to have you along for the next hour. I hold in my hand, Jared, 2 wristbands to the Wild Plum Jam coming up on Friday over at Sayre in the City Park. The lineup is incredible. Pat Green, Tyler Wilhelm, Casey Donahue, Presley Hale. I have 2 wristbands to give away today to the Wild Plum Jam on Friday. Starts at the gates open at 5. Music kicks off at 6. And I'm going to ask a trivia question. And whoever can text in the answer first will win these 2 wristbands. I'll tell you what that trivia question is coming up. On the show today, I got this idea off of Twitter this morning. And it was the ultimate college football road trip. So I immediately thought, okay, that means which game do you want to go to? No. This was all year long. So we're going to go through from week 1 all the way to the week 14, the championship week, and pick out one game that we would want to go to all through the year. If you want to play along, it's easy to find the schedule on ESPN. Just hit schedule. You just go through the weeks.
Yeah,
what I did, and went down through there. So we'll talk. We'll tell each other where we would go. I will probably get tons of flack for one of these not going to a certain game, but I've been there before. Okay?
Hey, it's your list, man.
It's my list. I can go wherever I want to, and so can you, and so can all the listeners.
That's why I get mad when I go to restaurants and people get on to me when I order something. I'm like, this is my food, bro.
Yeah, I'm eating it.
I'm eating it.
I know it's good. Do you ever get in the rut?
When ordering? What do you mean?
Like certain restaurants?
Just order the same thing.
Same thing over and over?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them in town to where I don't really need the menu.
Right.
I might have a couple of choices, different places, depending on how you feel.
You know you've been there too much when you walk in. They point at you and say exactly what you want.
Yeah. I guarantee you, Rib Crib is that for our family.
This
we get the same thing every time.
The quick stop at Canute, if there's one certain employee and I go in there around lunchtime, sometimes at noon I'll run home to get some stuff done. Yeah. I'll walk in there to get something quick. She knows exactly. She goes, Hatch burrito?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, grab me one of those. They're good.
All right, so we'll do that college football road trip, and we'll also talk British Open. It starts in the morning. I mean, half the field will be done by the time we get on the air tomorrow.
I know. What time our time?
Oh, I think it's like 1 a.m.
Oh, forget about it.
1 or 2.
I wake up and watch the highlights.
I've done that before.
You've woken up to watch it?
When a certain guy still played golf,
okay.
I would wake up at like 2 a.m. and watch. And that made for a long day, Jared.
I'm sure it does.
Made for a long day. All right, so where does the British Open rank in your major championship pecking order? Would you rather see it rainy and windy or hot and windy? Because we're going to see it hot and windy this week. Royal Birkdale is the course they're playing. It's got a great list of winners that have come in the British Opens at Royal Birkdale. Number 15 seems to be causing some drama amongst the players. It's 240-yard par 3 that's got like a mounded green. A little whining going on already about that. I think what we're going to see this week is just listen to everybody talk in the pre-tournament lead-up. Choices off the tee. Because of how hard and fast it's going to be playing, you have choices. You can do the Tiger Woods Liverpool don't hit driver but like twice all tournament. Just hit iron short of the bunkers and have a longer shot in. Or you can force the issue. It'll be interesting to see kind of who does what. Because a lot of times when you see guys having to start forcing the issue at the British Open, disaster is right around the corner. And we'll make our picks as well. As always, top 3 in order. And then a dark horse that's outside of the top 25 in the world golf rankings. 225-9698 is the phone or text line. 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We can talk about any of those things or whatever else might be on your mind. feel free to chime right in at 225-9698. If you're going to be outside the listening area one of these days, you want to stay in touch with us live, it's easy to do. You either log on to kadsam.com or you download the Paragon app. Paragon app's got it all. It's free to download. It's got all three radio stations under the Paragon umbrella. It's also the Penny News is in there. You can check out the brand new Penny News right now, thepennynews.com. Our fearless leader will be picking up the Penny News this afternoon, and you can pick up a free copy of the print edition of the Penny News this evening or for sure by in the morning. All the new great deals in the Penny News will be out. Of course, Big Elk and Paragon TV getting closer and closer to the high school football season, just a month and a half away before we're back at it out on the road for those things. And, of course, the Skinny on Sports podcast is available anywhere where you can find a podcast. How are you this morning, Jared?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. We played in the Tuesday night scramble last night.
Pretty night.
It was beautiful, and I played good. Well, that's the main thing.
Who cares what the weather is?
After the weekend in Alva, just kicked my tail, especially on Sunday.
Got your confidence back.
I felt, it's funny because when I pulled my golf glove out of my bag, I looked at it, and I was like, well, no wonder. It was like on your hand, the palm of your hand, on the opposite side of your thumb. It was like really worn right there.
Okay.
And I had pretty much a brand new golf glove. And I'm like, well, no wonder I didn't have the club in my fingers. I had it in the palm of my hand, like choking it. So I got it into my fingers. Next thing you know, things started going better. Just this minor, stupid little things that I forget from time. You know what it tells me?
Drink less? I don't know.
I don't play enough golf because I forget to put the club in my fingers. No, it was a good time. We had a lot of fun last night. Golf course is good, and it was beautiful. It was hot early, but man, by the time we got done, it was gorgeous out there.
Good.
Very little wind.
Good.
And a nice temperature. Okay. Now, I didn't play as good as what we're going to see starting tomorrow morning with the British Open. Where does it rank? The British Open, as far as the major championship pecking order, where does it rank for you?
Well, nothing's going to trump Masters, but it's up there. I'd say about 3, maybe behind the U.S. Open. I like the different of scenery we're about to see. I like the links course overseas, the challenge, all of that. Yeah, and I like how it's when it go over the seas, it's not at one spot every time. So you get to see different topography and geography of wherever it's being played. But I like links courses. I think it's fascinating. I've always thought it's fascinating. So that's about 3 for me.
I think it's probably 3 for me as well. Getting closer to the U.S. Open, the only problem that I've got with the British Open is it feels like there's too much luck involved. It's especially what we're going to see this week because it's going to be so hard and so fast. It's like guys hit good shots that don't end up being good shots, and it's just you can hit the exact same shot 2 guys in a row, and one of them will take a squirrely little bounce over into the hay, and the other one will take a bounce the other way and stay in the fairway. Yeah, there's just a little bit too much luck that way involved for me to move it ahead of the U.S. Open. Masters is obviously number 1 for me, and always will be. And then the PGA, it just the PGA feels weird because it'll be in August, now to be in May, now to be in August, now to be in May. They are starting to play some different courses in the PGA, which is good. And I know it has the strongest field in golf. That's kind of the thing for it is, we got the most of any major, the top 50 or whatever. I don't care. It's just kind of like if you're not, to me, if your tournament isn't good enough to stay in the same place on the calendar, then you're going to be last. But I like this.
That's true.
There's just between weather and honestly, those courses over there aren't hard outside of maybe Carnoustie. Like if the wind doesn't blow, they just eat it up. It just makes it have to be 3 for me. Would you rather see it? I know a lot of people want to see it just like rain blowing sideways when you go to the British Open. Would you rather see it like that or what we're going to see this week?
I kind of like the dreary gray sky, spitting rain every once in a while weather, because that's when I think of Europe and the UK. That's what I think of. And, the game was born there, and I'm sure they played in more rain and stuff like that way back in the early 1800s, late 1700s.
The old Tom Morris days.
So I kind of like to see that, which is why it's up there as for why I like this the scenery of it, but in the challenge of it. It kind of, it's like, hey, that's how they played the game when they started playing the game. Now you guys have to play in it. So I like to see that. If
you could get both, it'd be perfect. But if it rains, then it softens everything up. So there is something about, last week at the Scottish Open, you see them playing, and all of a sudden, the high cameras, you can't see the ground because the fog's rolling in. Then they have to quit. If you could get both, I'd like that. But for the course itself,
right,
and the conditions, I'd rather it be like this.
You'd rather be hot and dry.
I don't want to see green grass except for the green. You know what I mean? I want it to be baked out. John Rahm was talking about hitting 6 irons off the tee that go 280. It just rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls. And it makes it play more like a true links course if it's hard and fast.
Well, it sounds like some golf course I know out here in at times of the summer.
Yeah.
I know they're trying to water it, but at times it's like you just can't do anything about it.
Can't keep up. That's right.
Just keep the greens green and let the rest.
Tee boxes and greens and everything else can just dry out. I think that's what we're going to see, and I sort of like it better that way. Royal Birkdale, and here's the trivia question for the Wild Plum Jam, 2 wristbands to the Wild Plum Jam. The question is this. Royal Birkdale has a great history of winners when you look through the times it's hosted the British Open. The last time that Royal Birkdale hosted the British Open, who was the winner? 225-9698. Answer that trivia question, and 2 wristbands to the Wild Plum Jam on Friday night over at Sayre are yours. Who won the British Open the last time Royal Birkdale hosted? And I hope somebody hurries up because I'll probably let out the answer as we continue to talk about it. But you're going to see a lot of variety, I think, this week in styles of play or how they want to attack the golf course or be patient and not really attack it because of the conditions, because of how hard and fast it is. Like I mentioned Liverpool, what was that, 2006, when Tiger Woods literally hit driver twice off the tee. He was content to have 200 in. Now, he also was the best iron player on tour at the time and maybe ever. And so that strategy worked for him better than it might work for other guys. But there is, they talked about how Rory talked about it in his press conference. He was there a couple weeks ago, and the rough was way thicker. But it's been so hot and dry, it's kind of burnt out. So do you want to take on the bunkers on the corners and risk, flying it over or hitting it into one of those bunkers, which normally is about a half a shot to 3/4 of a shot penalty, just because of the nature of those pot bunkers. You can't advance it very far, so then you're kind of chipping out. But at the same time, if you get it down there toward the greens, then you got your wedges in your hands all day, even if you're in the rough. Like you said, it's not very penal. Or do you want to avoid the bunkers at all cost and have longer shots in? That will be kind of strategically, that will be the defining line with how these guys want to play.
And I'll be interested to see what decisions are made on the tee box with weather. That's going to be a big topic of discussion in the moment too. And then you're going to see these guys who are very confident in their iron play make those decisions too, and it's going to play into, I think, who we pick here. Who's playing? You mentioned it. Who's playing really good with their irons, and who's playing really confident. That's going to play a large part into it.
I also think it brings more guys into the mix, having multiple different ways to play.
Yeah,
which is probably better for the leaderboard. It's probably better for the drama on Sunday. By the way, Sunday viewing day for sports is going to be awesome.
I know, right?
British Open final round leading into the World Cup final. It's a pretty good day. Pretty good day of sports. Middle of July.
Hope the ship carries those certain channels I need to watch. Most of the time, last time was over 12 years ago. It was nothing but ESPN Espanol.
Telemundo. Yes. Still watch it.
I'm sure I'll find the soccer game.
I bet you that's the case. All right, so we talked about picks. Let's make our picks. Top 3 in order, and then the dark horse. I'll start with my dark horse.
Okay.
I was actually shocked that this guy was available. And I'm not going to do the live guys aren't ranked high, even though probably should. But I'm not going to do it. I went as a dark horse with sort of local guy, a guy that has won the British Open before. I went with Shane Lowry as my dark horse pick. He's down in the 40s in the world golf rankings.
That's very dark.
He seems to always sort of show up on leaderboards in the biggest tournaments. So I'm going to go with Shane Lowry as my dark horse.
That's very dark. Okay, I'm going to go with somebody you're going to hate me for, but he's right outside the top 25. He's played decently well lately. I was in the Scottish Open, tied for 13th. I got his latest finishes here.
Are you picking Fat Pat?
I'm doing it. I'm going with Patrick Reed as my dark horse. I think 26 in the world golf rankings. I know we all have our opinions of him, but he has been playing a little better lately. So he seemed like the obvious choice where he's at in the rankings.
Another guy that seems to show up on leaderboards in the biggest tournaments as well. Mm-hmm. I thought about him when I saw he was available at 26, but I went with Shane. All right, who's your third place finisher?
Well, I'm putting Scotty right here. Scheffler as my third. He is the betting favorite going in. If you look at it, look at Vegas, what they think. But a little bit of a slippage, but that streak broken, but still one of the best golfers in the world. Where is he at actually ranked? He's number one. So and he's a guy that shows up. So and I think he bounces back from not making the cut last week. But he's not my favorite, but he's my third favorite.
He's an interesting one. It seems like he hasn't played very well, and you look at his finishes outside of last week, breaking that long cut streak of 78 in a row. But he hasn't won, so that makes sense to not put him as your winner. Iron play has sort of been the problem, which is crazy to think of because through this run over the last couple of years, he has been vintage iron play. Like some of the greatest ever iron play. But that's slipped a little bit. I don't even have him there. I don't even have him. I've got Tommy Fleetwood as my third place finisher. Hometown boy.
Thought about him too.
Hometown boy, looking for his first major. It's always felt like either the U.S. Open or the British Open would be the one that Tommy Fleetwood would break through. I put him down at third just because of the nature of being the hometown guy and maybe too much pressure on him, putting too much pressure on himself to perform. But I think he's going to be there. He was around at the Scottish Open, played really well on Sunday. So I've got Tommy Fleetwood at number 3. Number 2, I've got Rory.
Okay.
I got Rory number 2. Iron play. He has the ability to hit all the shots. Low, high, fade, draw, doesn't matter. I don't want to listen to him. I don't believe him when he said he's the worst golfer of all time when he hit that shot left there on 16 at the Scottish Open. And I do think with his ability to drive the golf ball, he's one of the guys that if he decides, after the first couple of rounds, if he's a little bit behind and he wants to force the issue, he drives it as good as anybody. And so that he may not get himself into trouble if he starts forcing the issue off the tee. So I've got Rory number 2.
I got one of the hottest golfers right now at number 2. He's in the top 5 of the world rankings, and I'm not putting him here because he played at OU. I'm putting him here because he is playing very good. And look what he's done. Like what he was runner-up last year. Third last year on a links course in the Open. Tied for 11th last weekend at the Scottish Open, but he's on a run right now of, won the John Deere, played well at the Travelers, so at the Masters 24th. But talking about, of course, Chris Gotterup. I not putting him here because I've been a fan of this kid. That's the guy since he came to OU, and then his meteoric rise right now on the tour. He's playing again, one of the hottest golfers. And you know me, when I pick this thing, I'm like, who's playing well now? I don't care what your name is. I almost don't even care what your ranking is. How have you what have you done for me lately? And here lately, he's playing really well. Up to even a year ago, like I said, he's playing really well on links courses. So I'll go with Chris Gotterup, my number 2 pick. My number 1 will be Rory McIlroy because of it's Rory, again, playing well, finished well at the Scottish Open last week. Obviously, did well at the PGA Championship and the Masters. And for where it's at, he knows how to play this probably better than anyone, maybe even better than Tommy Fleetwood. I consider Tommy Fleetwood, by the way.
Well, I'm glad you did pick him.
I like
You'll
Rory.
know why here in just a second.
Like Rory. I'll take Rory as my guy to lift the jug on Sunday. How about you?
My winner's Chris Gotterup. I cannot believe you said that. And it's because of how he's playing, and also he seems to not playing that many times over there, but he seems to know how to play those courses. He won the Scottish Open a year ago, then finished 3rd at the British Open. He was in the running last week at the Scottish. Played bad on Sunday with a 1 over par that dropped him down to 11th. But he seems to know how to play those courses and has a good feel for it. And he has been hot. As soon as you said OU, I was like, you got to be kidding me. We're going to have the same ones. But yeah, I've got Gotterup. He's going to break through at some point, it would seem. And the way that he plays these golf courses, it seems like he's got the right – you got to sort of have the right mentality of accepting bad breaks because they're going to happen. So, yeah, I've got him to win it. A couple of guys that I struggled to leave off. Justin Rose is one of them because of experience around this track. And he also shows up at different times for sure on the leaderboards. It's hard to leave Scotty off, obviously, as the number 1 player in the world. But those were a couple of guys that I thought of, and even Russell Henley, the way that he's great putter. I heard Scott Verplank the other day talking about when it's Bermuda greens and these greens, he's like, you don't even know what's on them. There could be 6 different grasses, no matter what they tell you, but it's grainy is the point, and the way that Russell Henley is able, like his stroke matches up to those kinds of greens. He hits it straight, doesn't hit it at the furthest, but he's a good iron player. He was another guy that I really considered, but just, I don't know, the hometown. I'm probably rooting for the hometown story with Fleetwood more than really think he's got a chance maybe. But, wow, that's crazy.
I like Tommy Fleetwood. I've liked him a lot. I've featured him a lot in what we do here. And so he was right on the cusp, but I wouldn't mind to see that too. That'd be fun to see.
Yeah, you'd think that he's going to eventually win one, but you also always thought that Colin Montgomery was going to eventually win one, or Lee Westwood was going to eventually win one, and they just never could get over the hump throughout their careers. And he may be destined for that as well, but I just don't think. I think at some point he's actually going to break through, and it would be awesome story if on Sunday he was holding that claret jug as the hometown guy there in Northwest England.
Yep.
So starts tomorrow, early tomorrow. All right, when we come back, still looking for somebody to answer the trivia question.
What is it? Say it again.
For the Wild Plum Jam wristbands, who won the British Open the last time it was at Birkdale? I'll even tell the year, 2017. One very memorable shot as well. Skinny on Sports on the Lipscomb Wednesday.
So make the short drive to savings. You want to go to Lipscomb Ford in Sayre. It's a very short drive, but it's a lot of savings. They drive to Sayre, Oklahoma because there's never a dock fee. There's no gimmicks. Great selection. Nobody's a number. You're an actual person, a customer. If you go to Lipscomb Ford, you're not going to regret it. You're going to save a lot of money compared to most Ford dealers. The low overhead over there saves our customers money. The selection's great. The people are great. Lipscomb Ford, Sarah, Oklahoma. It's the only choice for a new Ford.
The Skinny on Sports.
But is having this minor skill worth being so unattractive? That's for the fan to decide. Yay!
Welcome back. It is a Lipscomb Dealership Wednesday right here on the Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. 3 correct answers. But the first one to get it right, Jordan Spieth was the champion last time. The British Open was contested at Royal Birkdale in 2017. And the winner, and I just saw this guy at softball practice on playitlive.net. on the TV screen. He was out there pitching.
Wait a minute.
He was pitching about 20 minutes ago. But Coach Murray is the winner. The first to get Jordan Spieth. Christine Honke just a little bit behind Coach Murray, and then Bill Farmer on the text line as well got it right, but was third. So Coach Murray, congratulations. Wild Plum Jam is in your future on Friday.
And
at the
hey,
Sayre
I
City
think
Park.
he's celebrating, I saw on Facebook, an anniversary. So what better anniversary
Oh,
gift?
yeah. Happy anniversary. Anniversary gift for free.
There you go.
You're welcome, Murray. You are welcome.
Anniversary date.
Yeah, that'd be good. It's going to be a good lineup. Also, don't forget Saturday, the 12th annual KECO Kids Fishing Derby right here at Ackley Park. Starts at 8. 100 T-shirts for the first kids that get there. Start passing those out. That's normally start passing those out about, 7:45 maybe? A little bit before the Derby starts. It seems like we start getting those.
I think so.
Passing out so the first 100 kids get a free T-shirt. Got $100 tagged fish swimming around in the pond. Maybe not quite yet, but they will be. Also, the biggest fish each hour will get $100. Brought to you by Lipscomb. Teddy's Glass is the presenting sponsor this year. Appreciate them. They're going to be cooking burgers and dogs. It'll be the family day in the park from 12 to 2 with the putt-putt and the carousel going on. It's always a fun day. They're at the 12th Annual Kids Fishing Derby right here at Ackley Park on Saturday morning. Don't forget the 3 dealerships at Lipscomb, the Ford store over at Sayre, and then the 2 here, Chevy GMC, and also Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. When Keaton was in here last week talking about the service side of things, that they're having different deals, $49.99. It was always the oil changes that you got to schedule over at Sayre on a Saturday morning. Those spots fill up fast. We appreciate Lipscomb and all the things that they do for us and helping us out with the fishing derby as well. All right, so the ultimate college football road trip, Jared. We went through the schedule week by week and picked out where you'd want to go. And I know we talked off the air. Part of it was big games. Part of it was places that maybe you hadn't been. And if it happened to be a good matchup there, I know you did as well as I did sort of geography with time of year. Not going very far north as the schedule gets later on into the year. I don't either. And so I did have one northern game, a couple northern games as it gets into late October to November. Reluctantly, a couple of them, but there's places that I really want to go and just happen to be a good game there as well. So, all right, we'll start off week 1. Where are you headed week 1?
We're not doing week 0?
I just saw week 1.
Well, week 0 is only really one place. That's Dublin, Ireland. Right?
Okay, so that was what they called week 1 then on
they
ESPN.
merged it.
Okay.
If you looked, yeah. So, but I went ahead and said week 0, North Carolina, TCU at Dublin, Ireland. That's a no-brainer. The others are duds.
There was one. Was it North Carolina State and Virginia? Maybe that I considered, but just I don't even care necessarily about the game. It's just the fact of going to Ireland.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, North Carolina State at Virginia.
Give me a Guinness. Yeah.
I don't know about that. But that's where I would go.
Come on. You go to Ireland, yes, even if you don't like it. Well, I could say I drank a Guinness in Dublin,
in Ireland.
In Ireland.
That's where I picked as well. to go over to Ireland and watch that game.
So week one, I considered Clemson at LSU. I
totally missed this one.
I don't like games. Now, there are some games. Obviously, there are some games that are neutral site that are awesome. And then there are some you're just trying to push the issue. You know how I feel about games like on converted Major League Baseball fields. I think that's stupid. Wisconsin at Notre Dame I considered, but it's at Lambeau. Yeah, Lambeau's cool. I want to see Green Bay at Lambeau. I don't want to see a college game at Lambeau. I went with, in week one, Boise State at Eugene, Oregon, at Oregon. Early in the year, so it can't be too cold. Here, Eugene, Oregon is awesome. Autzen Stadium is awesome and electric. And, Boise State's no pushover. And you get to see if Oregon are they ready to make a run at this thing? They get their quarterback back, all of that. So that's what I picked for week one. How about you?
Well, I'm just realizing that week 0 was the game I picked. So I'm scrolling through to find one. Here we go. I've got it. I'll also go to the Pacific Northwest, but I will go to Seattle, Husky Stadium, the Apple Cup between Washington State and Washington.
Not bad.
So I am going to go west of the Rocky Mountains.
Not bad.
This is going to be the only time, but I am going to go west of the Rockies. I'll take the Apple Cup there for week 1.
Good time of the year to do it. Good job. That's what I considered, too, was the time of the year.
Week 2.
Week 2, candidates were Mizzou at Kansas because they call it a border war for a reason. They absolutely despise each other, but the game itself this year I don't think will be very good. I considered Tennessee at Georgia Tech, Ohio State at Texas, obviously, and Iowa State at Iowa. I know Iowa State seems to be down, but that game, you think who's going to win, and then 12-7 later, the final score, it's not who you think. I did go with OU Michigan because of Ann Arbor, and it's early in the year, not too cold, and the game itself looks pretty good. And I've always wanted to see a game in the Big House, so I chose OU at Michigan.
I wrote that down first, and because of Michigan wanting to go to the Big House, but I changed it for a different game later on. I'm going to go down to Austin for Ohio State and Texas. Number 1 versus number 2 is what I believe it'll be once the polls come out. I think it's got to be there for me, and because it'd be cool to watch
Arch Manning get beat. Texas fans just wither in pain after a loss.
No.
Okay.
I just number 1 versus number 2. It's hard to pass up. So I went with Ohio State at Texas with a Michigan game later on. Week 3.
This is a no-brainer.
No, of all the games this season that I would want to be at, this one reminds me of 2 years ago. Going into the season, everybody Texas at Texas A&M was that game because the rivalry was being renewed. It was at College Station, which I think makes it even better. LSU at Ole Miss.
Yeah, no-brainer.
Yes,
no-brainer.
If I could go to any game this year, that's where I'd go. Plus, you get the Grove.
Oh yeah,
you get Vaught Hemingway Stadium.
Yeah.
All of that encapsulated with Lane Kiffin coming back to Ole Miss after quitting on the team last year, going into the playoffs. Everything surrounding that game makes it an easy choice week 3.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm with you. Other games that I kind of highlighted, I did this every week. Like I wrote down every game that caught my eye. Houston at Texas Tech.
That's the one that I was going to pick before I realized it was LSU Ole Miss that week.
Yeah, and Florida State at Bama. You think Bama's wanting some revenge in that one after the week 1 beating they took last year against Florida State? But no, LSU at Ole Miss, easy decision there. And it helps that it's in Oxford, too, because of the Grove and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
All right, week 4. This was a good week. There was a bunch of different options for this week for me.
Yeah, we're starting to see some conference games.
That's right.
Sprout out, and it's making a little harder decision. Who'd you go? You start. Who'd you go with?
I went with OU at Georgia.
Me too.
I considered Texas at Tennessee, USC, Oregon. There was a bunch of good games, but I went with OU and Georgia. I've never been there, and seeing the only time they've ever played was that ridiculous Rose Bowl back in the playoffs in 2017. And so I did go with OU at Georgia week 4.
Athens, Georgia. I've never been there either. Other games you mentioned, Oregon, SC, and Texas and Tennessee. That game could be kind of nasty because they always fight about who's the true UT. Well, we're about to find out. Also,
A&M, LSU.
A&M and LSU I considered. And OSU at West Virginia. First conference game for Eric Morris and his boys on the road. Country roads, burning couches, all that jazz. Should be fun.
There was 2 places I was trying to get to that I didn't get to. West Virginia was one of them.
Morgantown, yeah.
And Lincoln, Nebraska was the other. But I just never got there on this list. All right, week 5.
Week 5, I considered Florida at Mizzou. If Florida is truly trying to get back, they're going to have to go to a tough Columbia, Missouri to prove it. BYU at TCU, and also considered Miami at Clemson. But I went with, now is this west of the Rocky Mountains or on the Rocky Mountains? I went with Texas Tech at Colorado.
Yeah, you're in them. I'm going to say you're in them.
I'm on them. I'm in them. Now, Deion Sanders, so what, again, by week 5, we're got a lot of question marks about Texas Tech. So, and then Deion Sanders, he's looking for a rebound year.
Yeah.
They say he's got a quarterback that could possibly do it. So.
Oh, yeah, Julian Lewis. Yeah. He was the number 1 recruit out of high school a couple years back.
That one for me stood out. I went with that one.
I went Miami and Clemson because it was at Clemson. If it was at Miami, I would have never gone there. But see him run down, touch the rock, and run down the ramp and all of that kind of stuff. And depending on the Clemson LSU result, that might still be a pretty big game before Clemson, the way they've done the last few years, kind of fallen off the map. Could be sort of, if they can go down to Baton Rouge and win, and then all of a sudden that's a huge game with the expectations for Miami. And then maybe Clemson can get back to where they were for quite a while.
Well, after seeing the viral video of that bison flipping that dude head over heels, I'm wanting to see something like that at Boulder when they run out that bison. Maybe flip over that Red Raider mascot.
Pro tip, if you're headed to Yellowstone, those are wild animals.
The dude was like 75 yards away. He wasn't even trying to.
He was filming it, and other people were agitating that bison. You want to talk about.
He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy.
But you know what he needs to do? I told my wife this because when I found out he's alive and he is in good spirits and he's basically shattered his leg and he will be okay eventually, he needs to I would watch that video over and over. I was kind of giggling. I felt bad. He needs to embrace that and copyright that like the Jordan brand logo, but him flipping over and make some money off that deal.
10 feet in the air because of a wild animal.
Air bison or something.
Yeah, folks, we're going to Yellowstone. Don't agitate the 4,000-pound animal.
It is mating season for the bison.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said it was all jacked up on testosterone.
I did see when their tail starts whipping left and right, that means look out.
Oh, no. He said, the camera guy, he said he was digging the ground like you would see a bull at a rodeo do. I think that's another telltale sign of get the hell out of the way.
Yeah, do something. Jump in a tree. Do something else. And he almost got to fly into a tree. He flew up in the air so high. Yeah, that was a bad deal there. Man. Don't let Ralphie get loose.
No, Ralphie. I couldn't think of his name. Ralphie.
Don't let Ralphie get loose. All right, week 6. This will be a controversial one out there because we all know week 6 is the game in Dallas between Oklahoma and Texas. I did not pick that one. I've been there numerous times, and it is awesome. And if for anybody that hasn't been there, if you're a college football fan, it's a must-watch game at some point in your life. But I didn't pick that one. I picked Georgia at Alabama. Partly because it was the one Alabama game at home other than the Iron Bowl. And for me, the Iron Bowl, if I'm going to go to it, I'd rather go to Auburn because it just feels like Auburn has a better chance when they're at home.
It's true.
And the games end up being classics almost every time it's there. So I went Georgia-Alabama week 6 instead of going down to Dallas.
I can't pass up Dallas. I can't pass up the State Fair. OU, Texas. It's been a few years since I've been, so I think that's why I'm motivated to go there. But I did consider Georgia at Bama. I considered USC at Penn State up in Happy Valley. That we've mentioned the Matt Campbell, Lincoln Riley dynamics of that game. And an upset special, and because of the town it's in, Ole Miss at Vandy. Nashville, why not?
Yeah.
Vandy, probably zero expectations for Vanderbilt with some turnover that they're having personnel-wise, but who knows? They could pull off an upset against an Ole Miss team led by Chambliss, and it being in Nashville too. Win or lose, you're still having fun.
Yeah, Indiana, Nebraska's that week. That was one of those trying to get to Lincoln, just couldn't do it. And Arizona at West Virginia, another one that I considered trying to get to those places that I'd want to go watch a game at. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't talk myself out of Alabama, Georgia, and obviously didn't go to Dallas. Let's do week 7. Week 7 and 8 is the only time where I see teams back-to-back.
Not me. Week 7, I'm going to Bloomington, Indiana.
So am I.
Ohio State at Indiana. Some other considerations was Mizzou at Ole Miss, Bama at Tennessee, Florida, Texas. An intriguing one here. Notre Dame at BYU.
Yeah.
Talk about scenic place to go, too.
Yes. Yeah.
And did we know week 7 is Florida State, Miami? That used to be a really bitter rivalry, which they usually played those on week 6, same time OU Texas, but it's week 7 this year. And who knows what that means for the ACC. But we again, the big question mark of Indiana, are they real, or can they defend their title? Can they defend the heavy target now that's on their back? That one, probably the biggest game in Indiana history outside of a national championship game last year.
Yeah, you look at their schedule, pretty light. The week before they go to Lincoln, Indiana does. But there's a very real possibility that that's a 6-0 Indiana squad welcoming Ohio State into Bloomington and just continuing to doubt people like me who doubt Indiana.
Yeah.
That was the big reason why. And just to see Ohio State in that little stadium compared to all the other
ones. It might be like a 50-50 split, unintentional. I don't know. I mean, I'm not giving enough credit to Indiana fans. They really showed up.
Oh, man, they were everywhere in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Everywhere they went, it was red. Remember even the national title game, how red it was in the stands. And you know what? More power to them, and good on them. They've never been able to do that, literally.
Yeah.
And they showed up and showed out. No doubt about it. All right, we'll take a break right here, right in the middle of the schedule. When we come back, finish up the ultimate college football road trip for the year, where we'd go week 8 through week 14. Wrapping up a Lipscomb Wednesday on the Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal.
Hi, this is Keaton Feller again with Lipscomb Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Elk City. We're on pace to break our record for new car sales, and what that means is that we've got every vehicle out here discounted to the max. We've got up to 15% off of trucks. Some of them are $10,000 off or more, and we're stocking trucks equipped and ready for you to feed cattle with. We've got brand new trucks rigged out with arm beds, spike beds, grill guards, bumper replacements at Lipscomb Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
The Skinny on Sports.
And we're back!
We are back, wrapping up at Lipscomb Dealerships Wednesday. Skinny on Sports, right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Finishing up our ultimate college football road trip for the season, picking out a game each week that we want to go to. Reach week 8, right in the middle of the schedule. Where are you headed week 8?
Week 8, I am going to this is where I'm going to Tuscaloosa. I'm going to Texas A&M at Alabama. There was consideration for Ole Miss at Texas and Indiana at Michigan. I scratch that off because I've already seen Indiana in the previous week, and I've already been to Ann Arbor. So I have not been to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and it looks like the best game for me to go to. So Texas A&M at Alabama, week 8.
I went to Ann Arbor, back-to-back weeks with the Hoosiers. The major draw was going to the Big House. Since I skipped OU Michigan in week 2, I decided Indiana at Michigan. And you know, if the Hoosiers can win that week before against Ohio State, depending on what Michigan does, obviously that game against Oklahoma could vault them up the rankings with the win at home. That could be a good one. But basically just to go to see the big house. And week 8, you're still toward the end of October. Dicey as far as the cold, but you could catch a good day.
Yeah, and you could catch a nice fall day with the foliage and that classic on-campus college scene. You could, yeah.
You could, or it could be awful.
Or it could be snowing.
It could be one of the two, but I decided that was when I wanted to go to the big house. All right, week 9, I went out to Lubbock, Texas, Arizona at Texas Tech. Jones Stadium has become a really nice place with all the money that they pumped into that thing. That's two of the probably 5 teams that most people think will be sort of in the running to go down to Arlington and play for the Big 12 title. You get to see Noah Fafita against that Texas Tech defense. So I went to Lubbock, Texas, week 9 to watch the Wildcats versus the Red Raiders.
I consider Clemson at Florida State and Florida, Georgia, which is not in Jacksonville. They've moved that to Atlanta, and I think that is a bad idea. They moved that into the Mercedes-Benz, so I scratched that off the list. I went with Ohio State at USC. Week 9 in Los Angeles, yeah, I'll take that, and I'll probably get a good seat because nobody will be there, but because USC fans don't care. But no, Ohio State at the – I've never been to the Coliseum, so I've been to the Rose Bowl, never been to the Coliseum. And then the game itself could be good.
All right, where are you headed week 10?
Week 10, not a bad week here. Not a bad week. OU's at Florida, Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas, Missouri, the Holy War, BYU and Utah, Oregon, Ohio State, Miami, Notre Dame. I went, though, with Alabama at LSU.
I had that one written down. I really wanted to go to the Holy War, but I just couldn't pass up other games. I went with Oregon at Ohio State. I hadn't had Oregon on here yet, and that game seems to always sort of live up to the hype when they've played as conference mates a couple of times. So I went, and I hadn't been. Ohio State wasn't a trip that I'd made yet to Columbus to see the Horseshoe. So I went with Oregon at Ohio State. And I got very, very fortunate because you can't have a ultimate college football road trip without going to LSU. And it turns out the very next week. I mean, think about that. LSU gets Bama week 10, and they host Texas week 11. So I went to LSU, Texas in week 11.
Week 11? Well, because I've been to LSU, and some might be wondering, Jared, you haven't been to Columbus yet. I think you know why I haven't been there yet because of what's coming up.
Right.
But week 11, yeah, that I considered Texas LSU. Haven't been to Norman yet, but I considered Ole Miss at OU, Chambliss versus that defense. Last time Alabama went to Vanderbilt, they lost, and that's on the schedule this week. And again, the Nashville factor. USC's at Indiana, Michigan's at Oregon, and Mizzou's at Georgia. I guess I like Mizzou more than I think most people do. But I went with I didn't go to Norman, but I'll go to Stillwater.
I almost picked this one.
Texas Tech at OSU. By the way, this game should have been rivalry week game and not week 11. Rivalry week is week 13. That they should have thought about that because I think this is a true rival that the Big 12 needs that they can build up, and they should probably plan it there. But I went with Texas Tech at OSU because if OSU obviously – we think will be better than what they've been the last couple seasons, but at this point in the season could maybe be in the mix. This is a big game for them to kind of vault them up there in the Big 12. So I'll grab my paddle and head to Stillwater.
Either way, it's going to be a pretty big game.
It's a game that OSU wants to say, we're back.
And if Tech does what everybody thinks Tech will be, even if Oklahoma State isn't quite as good as we think, even if they could be maybe, it's just so hard to know what they're going to be. But at the very least, Tech could be going into the snake pit that can be Boone Pickett Stadium in Eric Morris' signature win time in his first year, upsetting a highly ranked Tech. I mean, at the very least, you could have that opportunity.
Storm the field, all of it.
That late in the season. That's one that I really considered, but I hadn't been to Ohio State yet, and I'm not going to the game because it's going to be too cold.
Where'd you go for week 12?
Yeah, this is the one game that I chose to head a little north late in the season. SMU at Notre Dame.
Oh. Yeah, see, I didn't even put Notre Dame. I'm not even at Notre Dame, but go ahead.
SMU at Notre Dame. There was I can't even remember. Click on the week, but needed to have a Notre Dame home game. The Ponies, since joining the ACC, have been probably better than they could have imagined. Played for the ACC title 2 years ago, in the mix last year. So I went. I'm going to head up
playoff team 2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm headed to Notre Dame to watch SMU at Notre Dame.
Didn't even think. I didn't.
I almost went to Nebraska here.
I didn't even think about Notre Dame. Hey, can I call an audible? Can I join you? Because of where I'm going to be at week 13, because I did put Ohio State at Nebraska. If I have to, sorry, Lincoln, I'm not going to go. I'd rather go to Notre Dame. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. There's A&M's at OU and LSU's at Tennessee.
See, Tennessee was the place that I was trying to get to also, and I never could.
Yeah. Yeah, but Notre Dame's one. I mean, if we're doing ultimate college football road trip, you have to include Notre Dame. And I will do that here. I considered Ohio State and Nebraska at Nebraska. I mean, Lincoln's great. Sellouts all the time, no matter what their team looks like. Big year for Matt Rule, in my opinion. But I will go with SMU Notre Dame. I don't even care about the game. I just want to go this time of the year too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it this time of the year.
That's the sketchy one. Another one that's kind of off the radar, and it may not even be a good game, but I've seen different things about this place. It looks really cool to go to. Is South Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina. But I can't pass up going to Notre Dame. Everybody that went in 2013 when the Sooners went up there said it was an amazing experience. Kind of Masters-like in that in the stadium, there's not all these advertisements and stuff.
It's pure
old school college football.
Yeah, I really wanted to go. I was too busy having a baby.
Week 13.
Okay, rivalry week.
Week.
Yeah, good week here. Yet there's a nasty rivalry in South Carolina and Clemson.
Egg Bowl,
Auburn, Bama, Texas A&M. I even consider TCU and Texas Tech. I only think better probably been Baylor and TCU if that was the case. But I went with the game. I went with Michigan at Ohio State.
I went down to College Station. It's not 2 years ago when the rivalry was renewed. Each team has made the playoff once in the last 2 years. Texas 2 years ago, obviously A&M last year. A&M brings back the quarterback with Marcel Reed. Everybody knows about Texas. Everybody's favorite to be number one and all that. And just, I've never been to College Station. And anybody that has been, mostly OU guys that have gone down there, say it's just an experience that you have to go to one time. So I picked Texas at Texas A&M. And then championship week,
I went with the SEC championship.
I literally just chose which city I'd rather go to.
Okay.
Choices: Arlington,
been there,
Indianapolis, Atlanta, or Charlotte. I chose Charlotte, North Carolina. I just want to go to Charlotte, North Carolina. We flew in there last time we took a trip down to Mexico. We flew from Oklahoma City to Charlotte. It wasn't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, that doesn't seem
It wasn't supposed to go that way, but that's the way it went.
Was Houston too busy? Or
that's where we were supposed to go, but something got changed. Anyhow, we ended up at Charlotte. And here's the real reason why.
I've switched in Charlotte. When we went to Jamaica, I switched in Charlotte.
And the deal is, I love diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yeah.
And he's gone to Charlotte a bunch, and there's some cool spots at Charlotte.
He's been in Atlanta a lot, too.
He has been in Atlanta a lot.
I went to SEC championship game.
That is correct.
For that week. And of course, week 15 there's only one choice, and it's the best choice.
Well, yeah.
Army-Navy. Yeah, this year it's in East Rutherford.
Yeah, darn.
I know, MetLife, whatever. But still, it's Army-Navy. I just want to experience the pageantry of that game.
Absolutely. That's another must. Years ago when it looked like Oklahoma was going to go to play at Michie Stadium against Army.
Oh, that would have been fun.
That would have been
knocked
super
that
cool.
one out.
Yep.
Yeah, that would have been fun. That would have been fun.
Some other like little schools that I was trying to work in there, like App State.
Yeah.
You've seen different things, different games there. That looks like a really cool place in Boone, North Carolina to get to. I just wasn't able to manage throughout the schedule. I know people that went out to Air Force.
Yes. I've always heard.
Said it was really cool. BYU looks like an awesome place as well.
I mean, even Boise in that turf,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd like to see that. I'm thinking off the top of my head, other places. Yeah, I didn't have University of Washington. Back when OU went up there, was that 07, 08? That was, everyone raved about that trip.
Yeah, the setting is cool. All right. Now all we got to do is find the time and the money to make these trips.
We'll start a GoFundMe, and we'll need X amount of money just to get to Dublin.
Yeah. Depending on how that goes, we may want to skip the Dublin trip.
We'll settle for Stillwater. Okay, well, in Norman, if we didn't even have, none of us, we didn't go, well, we always go to Norman. So
Yeah.
it's.
I didn't really even consider any of
I considered, and
the home
by the
games.
way, I know we've probably talked about it, but what is, I know the schedule is incredibly tough for OU and Texas. They're like 1 and 2 up there, but how about OU's schedule at Ann Arbor, at Athens, Georgia, at Florida?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, win or lose, you're getting a pretty good road trip out of those deals. Pretty good experiences.
That is the advantage of moving.
It's what we always said, but also the advantage of scheduling the way that Joe Castiglione did when he was the AD by scheduling games like Michigan, Ohio State, giving the fans the chance to experience these places and get a good game. Now, it's a fun schedule for if you're an OU fan for the road.
Don't think
they go to Mississippi State.
That's what I was about to say. We went through there coming back from Augusta a couple years ago. And Starkville seemed like a pretty cool town.
They nickname it Stark Vegas for a reason.
Seemed like, of the road trips,
don't know if
there's an obvious worst.
For Norman, for OU?
Yeah. Missouri.
Oh, Mid-Pooh, yeah.
Meh. But yeah, Swamp, Stark Vegas, Athens, and Ann Arbor. That is pretty.
That's real good.
It's really, really good. If you could, which home game would you go to? At OH, I think Oklahoma State. You're going to the Texas Tech game. Would you rather go to that one or Oregon?
Oh boy,
I think I'd rather go to Tech.
I think I'd rather go to Tech.
Just of what could happen.
Yeah.
Early in the season.
Yeah. But listen, if you want to shock a national favorite, like week 1, week 2 is when you want to do it. Because they have no idea what to prepare for. That's going to be a tough game for Oregon to prepare for. They can look at North Texas tape all they want. I think Eric Morris is smarter than that.
Well, the one thing about it is to get Tulsa right off the bat.
Yeah.
And so that, after the loss last year, you might have more out of the bag than maybe you wanted to against the Golden Hurricane. And then it's the easy choice for me in Norman.
Home game you want to see?
Yep. Ole Miss.
Ole Miss?
Or do you want to watch the band for Texas A&M?
I considered that when you asked
the
that
band
question.
is cool.
The band is cool. They bring it. It's fun to see.
But Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss, it's hard to pass him up.
Yeah, the home games, that's about the best one. I'm sorry, UTEP in New Mexico. You're not really doing it for me. Kentucky.
Yeah.
New head coach.
Home schedule isn't as good as last year.
Not as good, but the Ole Miss game stands out. Yeah, that's probably the one you want to go to.
Oh, it's like 4 days before my birthday, so if anybody wants to gift me tickets for my birthday, that'd be fun. Honestly, don't. I don't want to go. I just want to watch on TV. Don't worry about it. Standing for 3.5 hours, shoulder to shoulder with your sweaty friends, I'm out. I'm out. Everybody have a great Lipscomb Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget, World Cup semifinal, England, Argentina. That could be nasty.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.
That ball is blistered around.